Welcome to African Tales Arising, where the wisdom of our ancestors comes alive through stories passed down from generation to generation. Across Africa, marriage has never been seen as merely the joining of a man and a woman. It is the joining of families, communities, values, and destinies. Our elders often say the following: when two trees grow together, their roots become stronger than the storm. Tonight, we bring you a remarkable tale about love, wisdom, patience, and the kind of marriage that changed the future of an entire kingdom. It is a story that reminds us that true beauty fades and riches can disappear, but wisdom and character endure through every season of life. So settle in, relax, and journey with us into a time long ago, when kings ruled from great palaces, elders guided villages through proverbs, and the choices of one young man would alter the destiny of thousands. This is the story of the marriage that saved a kingdom. Long ago, beyond the great savannas, and near the foot of sacred mountains, there stood a prosperous kingdom known as Nuru. Nuru was blessed with fertile land, abundant rivers, and hard-working people. The kingdom's fields stretched as far as the eye could see. Farmers harvested millet, maize, sorghum, and yams. Fishermen filled their nets with fish from the great river Luma. Children laughed as they played beneath giant baobab trees. Travelers from distant lands often said, "Traveler, if there is paradise on earth, surely it resembles Nuru." The people loved their king, King Jabari. He was fair and wise. He listened to the advice of elders and cared deeply for his subjects. Under his rule, peace had lasted for many years. Yet among all the successful people in Nuru, one man attracted more attention than most. His name was Kofi. Kofi was known throughout the kingdom. He was a skilled hunter whose aim never missed. He could track an antelope across rocky terrain. He could survive in the forest for weeks. He was tall, strong, disciplined, and respected. Many fathers wished for him to marry their daughters. Many young women secretly hoped to become his wife. Yet year after year, Kofi remained unmarried. The villagers often discussed him. Woman 1, what is wrong with Kofi? Woman 2, perhaps he thinks no woman is good enough. Elder, no. Kofi is not proud. He simply seeks something many people overlook. One afternoon, while sitting beneath a baobab tree, the elders called him over. Elder Mosi, Kofi, you have reached the age where a man should build a family. Why do you refuse every proposal? Kofi smiled respectfully. Kofi, I do not seek beauty alone. The elders exchanged curious glances. Kofi continued, I seek a woman whose wisdom remains when beauty fades. A woman whose character grows stronger with age. A woman who can help guide a family through both abundance and hardship. The elders nodded. For they knew he spoke truth. Yet finding such a woman would not be easy. As months passed, something terrible began to happen. The rainy season came late. Then it failed entirely. Clouds gathered but gave no rain. The sun grew hotter each day. The river Luma began shrinking. Farmers watched helplessly as their crops withered. Animals wandered farther in search of water. Soon, fear spread throughout Nuru. The kingdom had never experienced such a drought. Weeks became months. Food supplies dwindled. Families struggled. The king summoned his council. Inside the palace, tension filled the room. King Jabari, what solutions do you bring? The advisors lowered their heads. No one had an answer. The kingdom prayed. The elders performed ceremonies. Yet still, no rain came. As suffering increased, people began losing hope. For the first time in generations, Nuru faced the possibility of disaster. One evening, Kofi ventured deep into the forest searching for game. The drought had made hunting difficult. Animals had become scarce. As he followed a dried-up stream, he noticed someone kneeling beside the riverbed. It was a young woman gathering herbs. She appeared calm despite the crisis. Curious, Kofi approached. Kofi, good evening. The woman looked up and smiled. Alma, good evening, hunter. Something about her confidence surprised him. Most people were worried. Yet she seemed thoughtful rather than fearful. They began talking. Soon their conversation turned to the drought. Alma, your kingdom suffers because it has forgotten its past. Kofi frowned. Kofi, what do you mean? Alma pointed toward the distant mountains. Alma, long ago, your ancestors built water channels beneath the hills. They prepared for seasons like this. Kofi stared at her. He had never heard such a thing. Alma continued, the knowledge exists. But knowledge that is not remembered is as useless as a seed never planted. Her words stayed with him. Over the following days, Kofi met Alma several times. The more they talked, the more impressed he became. Unlike others, Alma listened carefully before speaking. She spoke with humility. She never boasted. Yet every word carried insight. One evening Kofi asked, Kofi, how do you know so much? Alma smiled. Alma, my grandmother taught me that wisdom is wealth no thief can steal. She explained that her grandmother had preserved stories, histories, and practical knowledge passed down through generations. Many people listen to stories merely for entertainment. Alma listened to learn. And she remembered. Kofi realized he had never met anyone like her. Kofi shared Alma's knowledge with the king. At first, many advisors laughed. Advisor, are we now taking advice from strangers? Others mocked the idea. But the king was desperate. King Jabari, if there is even a small chance this is true, we must investigate. A team was organized. Kofi and Alma led the expedition. They traveled into the mountains. 4 days they searched. Nothing appeared. Some people wanted to quit. Yet Alma remained confident. Finally, beneath thick roots and layers of earth, they discovered stone structures. Ancient channels. Exactly as Alma had described. The kingdom erupted with excitement. Thousands of villagers joined the effort. Men, women, and children worked together. The channels were cleared. Blocked passages were repaired. Weeks later, water began flowing once more. The mountain springs fed the channels. The channels fed the fields. The fields came back to life. Green shoots emerged from the soil. The river slowly recovered. The kingdom was saved. People danced throughout the night. Drums echoed across Nuru. Hope returned. The king invited Alma to the palace. Before the entire kingdom, he praised her wisdom. King Jabari, many saw the drought. Few sought understanding. Alma remembered what others forgot. The crowd applauded. Kofi stepped forward. His heart was full. At that moment he knew. The woman he had searched for all his life stood before him. Not because she was beautiful, though she was. Not because she was admired, though many admired her. But because she possessed wisdom, humility, courage, and compassion. Soon afterward, Kofi asked for Alma's hand in marriage. She accepted. Their wedding became one of the greatest celebrations in Nuru's history. Yet what people remembered most was not the feast. It was the example they set. Years later, elders still told their story. Whenever young people prepared for marriage, they were reminded, elders' proverb, a beautiful face may attract the eye, but a wise heart sustains a lifetime. Kofi and Alma's marriage thrived because it was built on respect, friendship, wisdom, trust, and shared purpose. And so, their union became stronger than any drought, stronger than any hardship, and stronger than the passing of time. Narrator, what lesson do you take from Kofi and Alma's story? Do you believe wisdom is the most important quality in marriage? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this African tale, please like, subscribe, and join us here on African Tales Arising, where the voices of our ancestors continue to teach, inspire, and guide us. Until next time, may wisdom walk beside you, and may your journey be blessed.